So, I was going to, okay, like always, I have to put the disclaimer that any thoughts expressed on this channel are my own, and no one else is responsible than me. No one's responsible for my behavior. Nobody, I can't blame my parents. I can't blame my exes. I can't blame any of that. But anyways, these are totally my own opinion. And so now that I got that out of the way, I wanted to talk about the February 14th is Valentine's Day. So I said to myself, oh, maybe I should do a series about love. And one thing led to the other, because there's another thing happening this month, February. I've addressed it in my other videos, so go ahead and just search up February History Month, and then I have I've already kind of addressed it. I have been doing some vlogging for about 4 years already, so I do have a lot of videos. How many people watch them? My popular video is the ones to do with the cars, and I will be doing some uploads of some, like the S10 Blazer. I was working on it last week when it was dry. It's supposed to be raining next week again, so I haven't been able to do anything, or I'm not going to be able to do anything more to it. But I have been trying to get the S10 Blazer oil cooler replaced, or not replaced, but I had to replace some gaskets on it. So if you are remotely interested in any of that, be sure to subscribe, like these videos so they'll come up. I know that people don't want to like certain videos because all of a sudden the internet machine's going to say, oh, you like videos like this? So how about watch this one and watch this one and watch that one? And so it's just like a never-ending cycle. But I was looking up stuff about love, and I do remember this one song from Trace Atkins, and it was a song called No Thinking Thing. And it's interesting, that song came out in 1996. First time I ever heard it was 2008, I think, maybe 2007. The lyrics are pretty cool. I like the lyrics. I'm more into lyrics. So like if there's too much foul language in a song, I'm probably going to turn it off. I'm not going to listen to it or flick it. You know, people like to say, oh, I just like the beat. I just like the rhythm. I just like the music of the song. But come on, don't be silly. You're going to be hearing the words. So don't fool yourself. If the words are terrible, they're going to stick in your head somehow. Like the Beatles had songs that would have that will trick you into meditating or doing mantras or chants or whatever. And there's other songs that don't come to mind right now, but the lyrics are terrible. So yeah, don't be like making excuses for that, because I mean, if there's content in music and you're thinking like, oh, I'm not going to be hearing any of that, or I'm not going to be repeating any of those lyrics and all that stuff, you're going to be like, oh, all right. Just don't fool yourself. Garbage in, garbage out. Certain behavior is promoted in certain music, whatever. So, okay, I've established that. So, when it comes to the lyrics of this song, No Thinking Thing, there's this one line of the song that they do over and over again that it's a physical, it's a chemical, physical emotion. Anyways, look up the song. It's Trace Atkins, No Thinking Thing. And the thing that really got me really thinking, besides those lyrics, is like 1996. What were you doing in 1996? Coincidentally, that was the first time I ever had like a serious girlfriend. That was the first time that a girl ever took my hand and put it in a certain place, and I was like, oh, yeah, and needless to say, I was even a Christian at that time when that happened, and you know, when you don't have boundaries, you're gonna mess up if you don't have certain standards of how to do things. It's gonna needless to say, that was the beginning of me probably going down that, no pun intended, that rabbit hole. Yeah, anyways, maybe I intended a pun, but yeah, anyways, I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. If you're an adult with a history, you probably totally know what I'm talking about. So 1996 was a year that I grew a lot. Actually, November that year I turned 21. So when that whole thing kind of happened, I was 20. That girl I was with, I think she was 18. There was a lot of details I found out later on about that girl. She actually, so there's a lot of details. You know, I'm not good at storytelling. Obviously, if you watch any of my videos, you'll probably say, "Whoa, this guy's not good at telling stories or anything." But in 1996, my mom was almost like running a foster home for foster kids. Actually, there were like boys that had no place to live. That year, I had a neighbor friend, that got kicked out of his house. My mom let him stay in the house. There was another guy, two other kids that somehow was in our circle, two other guys in our circle that ended up living with us. You know, the details are foggy, but 1996 was a wacky year, and, well, maybe not wacky, but it was a growing. I mean, the 90s, check this out. To me, my opinion is the 90s was like our 60s, 1960s. Like, my dad, he was in his 20s in the 1960s. I was in my 20s in the 1960s. In the 1960s, I'm sure it was way worse than the 1990s. So, with all that said, that one of the guys that was living, I mean, I guess it was a friend of a friend. It was just a crazy circle of things happening in the 1996. And hope you're getting the point that there was people living where I was living that just kind of, I don't know how they ended up there. But it was one of the guys that was living there. I found out later on he actually was with that girl that I was with. I guess they ended up making out. I guess they were in a relationship for a couple days. And then somehow that girl liked me, or I don't know how I ended up with her. But yeah, if you're watching this video and you're that girl that I'm talking about, maybe you could contact me separately and just maybe fill in some of the details. But all I know is that we were together maybe 3 months, mostly all summer. We did stuff together. We made out a lot, which making out is that's the chemical part, the physical part of love, because love is really not supposed to be chemical, physical, or emotional. It is that way when you're in a relationship. It is supposed to be that way. That love is a lot of things. But I'll get into that maybe this month if I could get coherent in my thought patterns. But what were you doing in 1996? You can share in the comments below. You can tell me what you were doing in 1996. Because I would, be interesting. The year after 1996 was my sister's first child. 1996, my first niece, was born in 1990. You know, it's just, 1995 was the year that my sister graduated. 1996 was the second year of me going to college. That's where I met the girl. I met her in college. It was, I don't know. I mean, and then it also kind of will segue to my whole idea of how what's it called? Dysphoria. There's dysphoria. Like when I look at myself in the mirror, sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, okay, you're symmetrical. You have all your parts. Then other times I look at myself in the reflections and I was like, ugh, dude, that's rough. That dude's not symmetrical. So what she liked about me, it'd be nice. If you're watching this, let me know what you liked about me during that time. What was it? You know, we didn't go all the way. We got to third base. I guess they would say third base. Yeah, that's not a good place. Not recommended. Just like it says in the Song of Songs, if you read it, it says, "Do not stir up love before the time it's supposed to be."